Flexible work practice is a phrase that we hear a lot about these days, and it's one that, until probably more recent times wasn't particularly seen as an important issue. It's very, very high on the radar for many candidates these days. Often they fall into two groups who probably need flexibility for perhaps slightly different reasons, but it still, I guess, leads to the same expectation. Now, they can be that they're parents, and that's not exclusively mums, of course, but parents who are looking to balance and to juggle their work and career responsibilities with their home life and family responsibilities. And you've also, of course, got the younger cohort coming through, often unfairly kind of characterized or caricatured and maligned as the expectant millennials. But I guess these are people who are much more alive to the idea that work and career should fit in with the rest of your life. It shouldn't necessarily take over and dominate and sort of push everything else out of the way. So you've got different groups who often have a requirement around flexibility that employers are now having to be very mindful of. Now, that flexibility might be working from home sometimes. It might be coming in late or leaving a bit early from the office, again, to sort of tie in with other things that are going on in their day-to-day existence. So this is quite a big deal now, and what I would say is that if it's something that's absolutely essential for you to have, and there really is kind of no room for negotiation or compromise, then obviously it's important that you tackle that pretty early in the job seeking process, because if it genuinely is a deal breaker, well, then that's that. If you're in that category where it's more of it would be lovely to have that, then it probably makes some sense to try and hold back conversation on that topic as long as you can. What I mean by that is it's important that you've got the employer very interested in you and very excited about you, I would suggest, before that potential negative of I do need to leave a bit early on Tuesdays because it is tackled. Employers often talk a great game about this topic, about how flexible they are and how committed they are and progressive they are. It's often complete nonsense in reality, unfortunately. And so you've got to be very, very careful before you appear to be making great demands on the issue of flexibility. And another thing just to be alive to, of course, is that if you have a situation where your current employer is very flexible with you, well, that's great. However, it doesn't automatically mean that a new employer is going to give you that same level of flexibility right from the start. Now, what I mean by that, of course, is that your current employer is one where your performance over time has generated that level of trust and credibility that then translates into a more flexible attitude towards you and how you structure your working day and week. You've earned the right, to put it very basically. Now, if you go to a new company, as yet, you haven't earned the right. So to expect exactly the same level of flexibility is probably a touch naive. So again, just give some thought to how much you are going to demand, so to speak, from the start, and how much of it maybe you can acquire that flexibility over time. Okay, so give that some thought, because it is one of these really delicate areas that comes up increasingly in interviews these days.